So just to let you know that, today in the morning, Jivanath Prabhuji was telling that how the devotees in the beginning days of our movement, they didn't know how to recite Sanskrit verses. Forget about Sanskrit verses, they didn't know who is Krishna. Right? But you know that Krishna is so popular now all over the world, and particularly I have told you when 9/11 attack happened, the then President of America, he addressed the Americans and said, Krishna, Allah and Jesus bless America. So this is how, this is the impact of this particular great movement, and we'll be hearing more from the Prabhuji, and we are very fortunate to have you here. Thank you for accepting our invitation and coming all the way, and I'm pretty sure that all those who are here, you will get that experience, 75 to 2020. So it's almost like, 25 plus 20, 45 years of rigorous spiritual journey. A lot of experience, a lot of realization. So we have a wonderful opportunity to associate with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna!
Okay, that was not bad, but not good enough. A little bit louder, please. Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna!
There you go. It just goes to show you, when you really want something bad enough, it's really easy to muster up that little extra energy, that little extra enthusiasm. So that's what is propelling me through 45 years of devotional life, is that enthusiasm. I like to be enthusiastic. I like to be around people who are enthusiastic. And the most enthusiastic people are the bhaktas, the people who are wanting to know Krishna, because they know that the path back to Krishna is not an easy one. It's not easy. I'm sorry to disillusion you all. Thought, hey, if I just do a Bhagavad Gita course, I'm going back to Krishna. It's not quite that easy. It requires a little bit of effort, because the material world's trying to keep you here. So we have to work harder than the material world. We have to work harder than your mind, because your mind is trying to tell you, hey, you could be doing something else right now. Come on, it's Saturday night. You could be partying. But no, you're here. So you've made a very nice decision, and I'm very proud of every single one of you for coming. It's a special moment for me being here. This is my first time in Kanpur. And Leela Purushottam Prabhu invited me to come here, and I was thinking, does he know who I am? Because an IIT University? Really? Me? But for some strange reason, Krishna arranged this, and I'm so happy to be here. I've never been around this many smart people in my life. It's very nice. Very nice. I really appreciate it. So I might just skip the chanting, because what I would like to do is actually chant at the end of class as well. Because whenever His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, who was the person who translated that Bhagavad Gita as it is that you've been studying from, whenever he did a talk, he started with Kirtan, he did talk, and then he finished with Kirtan. And then, of course, there's that magical bit at the end called Prasadam. So we don't want to forget that part either, right? That's kind of a special bit. So like Prabhu said, I actually grew up in America. And growing up in America, you don't have zero idea of who God is. Zero. In 1950, when I was born, 52, nobody knew. I went to a Catholic school, and it was a Catholic school with nuns teaching. And I remember asking them, can you tell me more about God? And they would say, it's a mystery. And what do you mean it's a mystery? Like, how are you supposed to love someone you don't know? It's a mystery. And I would ask again. So now I'm like 13 years old, so I'm a little more, passionate about this. I want to know, who is God? It's a mystery. Just have faith. No. I'm not buying that. And they actually asked me to leave the class. I'm asking who God is, and I get kicked out of the class. This is a religion class. Come on, tell me who God is. So after that experience, I kind of floundered in spiritual conceptions. I just didn't have a clue. I didn't know what was going on. And somehow or other, I went to this high school that was for intelligence people like yourselves and to prepare them for university and beyond. And everybody in my class, they had goals. They had plans. I'm going to do this. I will be this. I'm going to do this. And I was thinking, I don't know. I just want to have fun. I just want to... I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to do any of those things. Well, I wanted to play basketball. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I'll be a basketball player. And then university said, sorry, you're not good enough. I was like, all right, okay. So maybe some other line of work. But I don't want to do any of those things. So I was totally bewildered. And of course, God was so on the back burner for me. Like, spiritual life was not anything I even thought about. So I'm not one of these people I was studying and reading books of the Eastern philosophies and studying this. No! I just wanted to have fun. And I didn't understand anything about spiritual life. Now, in America, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and still now, when you say the word demigod, like, who is a demigod? Tom Cruise, maybe? Who else? Who else can we think would be demigods, Brad Pitt. We don't know who a demigod is. That name is just not available. Nobody knows who a demigod is. So I have no problem when Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam, he is the man, he's the main guy, he is God. I don't have a problem with that. I just accept. That's okay. Because I'm not going with, what about Shiva? What about Durga? What about Kali? I don't know who they are. I got Tom Pitt and Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, and that's as far as I can go, as far as like exalted people. I don't know who they are. So demigod worship was not part of my understanding. I didn't have to choose. I didn't have to separate Krishna from the pack. I didn't have to say, well, Krishna's the original person. When Prabhupada said it, I just accepted. Not a problem. One time, Srila Prabhupada, who his picture is there. You can see his deity over here. He was a pure devotee. And he taught his disciples everything. I mean, everything. And like I say, we don't know who demigods are. So early on in the movement, we went to a temple. It was actually a Shiva temple. And the devotees with Srila Prabhupada were so confused. What do we do? We don't know who Shiva is. We don't know much about Shiva. Prabhupada didn't talk about Shiva. And here we are in a Shiva temple. So the devotees were kind of going, what do we do? What are we supposed to do here? And Prabhupada walked up and he saw the Murti of Shiva and he bent down and paid his obeisances. But he did it a little differently. He put his right shoulder down first in front of Shiva. And all the devotees went, well, usually we put our left shoulder down, so now it's the right shoulder. Oh, demigod difference, right, left, got it! Got it. And then they all paid their obeisances with their right shoulder down. Okay, we can do this. We're allowed to do this. This is something we're supposed to do. So we learn from Prabhupada. There's respect for the demigods. Obviously, you don't want to, diss them. You know the word diss? You've heard that? It's an American expression, diss. I diss you. Get out of here, whips. We're not supposed to be like that. The demigods deserve respect, but not the ultimate respect. That's reserved for Krishna. So that's a very special point. Now, myself, like I was saying, I didn't have anything spiritual going on at all. In 1975, I was totally disillusioned. My basketball career was fading. It wasn't that good. I hurt my knee. I dropped out of school. No more scholarship. What am I going to do? This is so depressing. Brothers, friends from high school are like, I just got my degree in economics. I got this, I did this, and now the editor of a magazine. I'm a state senator. I'm this, and I'm thinking, golly, I don't want any of that stuff. So I was just working odd jobs. Doing basically...
Can you give little space for the ladies there? Come to this
we can come up this way, can't we?
Yeah.
That's okay? A little bit? So I was working odd jobs. I'm driving down the street one day. Now, whenever I would see Hare Krishnas on the street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I lived, I would cross on the other side of the street. Because Hare Krishnas to me were just like the weirdest people that could have been from another planet. I don't know. But I would never stop to talk to them. Like, who wants to talk to a guy wearing sheets with a shaved head? Really? Come on. 1970 was all about hair and cool clothes. And I thought that was me anyway. At least that part I had down. I had cool hair. I wore cool clothes. I'm not going to talk to these freaks that are singing songs, playing little cymbals. Come on, that's just too weird for me. I know I don't want to be all those things in the material world, but I don't want that either. That's just, whew. Well, come on, really? So one day I'm driving down the street, and I stop at a traffic light. And at that traffic light is my best friend from high school. I haven't seen him for a few years because he went to a university here, I went to one this way. So I haven't seen him. Now he's dressed in, well, not cool clothes, not as cool as me, but, it didn't look like a Hare Krishna. And he had a baseball cap on, so, I don't know. I go, hey, buddy, how's it going, man? He goes, hey, Joe. That was my name, Joe. He goes, hey, Joe, pull over, man. I haven't seen you for ages. Let's talk. Sure, man, no problem. I pull over. We start talking. Now, I notice he has a bucket, and in this bucket are little pieces of candy. So he gives me a piece of candy, and I'm munching on the candy while we're talking. This is nice. He gave me a piece of candy. Who doesn't like a piece of candy? So I'm eating my piece of candy, and we're talking. Now, the conversation got past, hey, man, what's up? How you doing? Hey, cool, all that stuff you do when you see an old friend and you're trying to act like you're somebody, cool. And he started asking me deep questions. And the one that got me was, he looked me in the eye, and he said, now, okay, you would just meet somebody, you haven't seen him for 3 years, he's been your best friend, you traveled, you played sports, you went to parties, did all that stuff together. And he looks you in the eye and he goes, are you happy? I'm like, am I happy? Come on, look at me, I'm cool. I'm a cool guy, what do you think? But that's not what I said. Because he asked me, and he's my friend. I went, whoa, you know what? I'm not happy. And he goes, you know why you're not happy? I go, no, why? He says, because you think you're your body. And you're acting in that way, trying to make your body happy. You're not that body. You're a spirit soul. And he started preaching to me the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. And I'm like, wow, this stuff really makes sense. It all started to click. And here comes the really cool part. Now, we're in Kanpur. You guys know what Bollywood movies are? Stupid question, right? We know what Bollywood movies are. This is the Bollywood version of what happened next. The first part is real. You ready for this? He handed me a Bhagavad Gita. When the book hit my hands, I started to tremble. That's for real. Here comes the Bollywood part. In the sky, I heard voices singing. Woo! Thunder and lightning. Okay, there's the Bollywood version. Now I got the Bhagavad Gita and I'm trembling. I'm actually trembling. And I'm going, what? Oh, this is weird. What the heck is going on here? I'm trembling with this book in my hands. And I'm thinking something is about to really happen to me. This is just amazing. Why am I shaking like this? It's just a book. And then I look at the bottom. And it says the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He's one of those freaks. But wait, I know him. He's not from another planet. He's a cool guy like me. He just cut his hair off. Wow. He's a Hare Krishna. Now I'm going, whoa. My head is spinning like, wow. This is incredible. I'm talking to a Hare Krishna. He's giving me this book, and I'm loving everything he's saying. I'm so confused. But I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to read this book. Because everything he said made total sense. total sense to me. I'm not this body. Why am I trying to make this body happy? I don't belong here. That's why I didn't want to do all those things. I don't belong here. He told me about the spiritual world. Wow! Don't you want to be there? Yes, I do! I don't want to be here. I don't want this material body anymore. So I went home. I read that Bhagavad Gita. It took me 3 days to read it. I didn't want to put it down. It was like, whoa, there's so much knowledge in this. No wonder I was feeling so really out of it and so unhappy. I was wasting my time. This is what life's all about. Now I can actually be happy. I'm going to live like a spirit soul. But I really didn't have a clue how to do that. So I thought, let me go to one of those Hare Krishna temples. Now in America, every Sunday they have what they call the Sunday Love Feast. I love it. It sounds so, 60s hippie. Sunday Love Feast. Prabhupada loved the name. So we have this Sunday Love Feast. So I thought, I'm not going to go to the Sunday Love Feast. Because the Sunday Love Feast, they know you're coming in, you're a newbie, you don't know what's going on, they're going to sit you down, they're going to give you the lines, hey, Hare Krishna, you should do, And I didn't want that. I wanted to see what these Hare Krishnas were really about. So I go to the temple at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I lived like an hour away. So I had to get up at like 2 something, which is like usually when I went to bed. But I did it. I went to the temple and I wanted to see the real thing, the devotees in the temple, Mangal Artik. Who's heard of Mangal Artik? Yeah, it's super early in the morning. And you have to sing and dance and do the whole thing really early in the morning. Okay, so I knock on the door. Nobody answers. Uh-oh. The mind's going, get out of there! Run! Get out of there! And no, I don't want to run. I want to see what this is about. So I knock again. Still nobody answers. Is this a sign? Am I supposed to get in my car and get the heck out of here? What am I doing? I'm at a Hare Krishna temple. I'm a cool guy. I knock again. This time, a guy answers the door. But it's a little weird, because he's not wearing a shirt. And he's wearing like a little dress. Well, it's a piece of cloth wrapped around him, and I don't know what this is. He looks like a girl or something. I don't know. I mean, we know it's called a gamsha. But in 1975, when I first go to a Hare Krishna temple, I'm thinking, this guy looks really weird. I'm getting scared now. He's got the shaved head, and he's wearing a little piece of cloth wrapped around him. It's like, well, you have any shorts or something to wear? Come on. Anyway, he lets me in. And he says, come inside. The devotees are still getting ready for this Mangal Artik. You're a little early. And you're going to see God. Like, wow. I'm going to see God? Really? Like, I've been asking about this for so long, and now I'm going to see Him? I'm actually going to see God? Like, wow, this is so cool. I can't wait. So I sit down in the chair that he tells me to sit down in. And he goes away. He comes back like 2 minutes later. He has a little white cup.
Which temple is this?
Philadelphia. The old temple, not the one that's there now. And inside this little white cup is a brown ball. A brown ball in a white cup. And I'm looking at this thing going, it looks gooey. It's like oozing liquid and stuff. It's a brown ball. And he says to me, take the cup. Don't touch the ball. And pour the ball into your mouth. And I'm like, okay. Whew, this is like a real leap of faith. A brown ball in my mouth. So I take that cup and I go, whoop. And as I'm biting this thing, this juice is squirting all in my mouth. I'm like, wow! What is this? He goes to me, this is a gulab jamun. I go, a gulab jamun? Whoa, if this is the way you guys are eat, I'm in. I love this. So now it's 4:15 in the morning. I just did a glove jumping. I'm getting a sugar buzz. You know, like, this is fantastic. I really love this Hare Krishna thing. There's so much sugar in this little brown ball. I love it. And I'm waiting. So about 4:25, I see the devotees piling down the stairs and turning and running into this room. Very dark room. And they all go in this room. And the guy who let me in, he comes down the stairs. Now he's wearing one of these dhoti things and a kurta. Looking good. I can deal with this. He's looking okay. Because he was nice, so I liked him. So he says to me, come on in. We're going to go do Mangal Artik. And you're going to see God. He repeats it. You're going to see God. So I'm pretty excited. Because I have read Bhagavad Gita. I have seen the pictures of what God looks like. He's blue. I get it. That's a surrender, because you remember, I'm from America. Zero idea what God is. So this is just like, okay, why not? Why can't he be blue? He's God. He can do whatever he wants, right? He's blue. And he stands on a chariot. Well, he does a lot of other cool stuff, but I get it. He's blue. So I'm inside this temple room with all the devotees. And it's dark. It's really dark inside there. And I can't see anything, but all I can hear, it sounds like bumblebees. They're all walking around going, and I'm standing there like, what the heck are they doing? Because I don't know anything about that chanting on the bees thing yet. And I'm really confused now. And they're all walking around different ways. All right, this is such a leap of faith, but I'm going to go through with it. Now, I'm standing there, and I hear this sound that I've never heard before. Like, what is this? It's like an air raid siren or something. And then they all drop on the ground. Everybody's on the ground, and I'm the only one standing there. I don't know what's going on. Did somebody drop some money or something? What is it? I have no clue. I'm the only one standing there. And then the curtains opened. Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to see God. The curtains opened. He's not blue. There's 3 of them. They all have really big eyes. And they're all staring at me. There's a black one, a white one, and a yellow one. They don't look like anything I've ever seen before in my life. This is God? I'm thinking, this is God? It's actually Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. Do you know who they are, right? You've seen? Wait, where are they? They're somewhere? There's a picture? Okay. So oh, okay, there they go. Imagine seeing that for the first time and somebody says, that's God. Come on, really? I mean, I'll accept the blue guy, but come on. But it's like, not so bad. Why not? Everything else is weird but wonderful. Weird but wonderful. That's how I would describe it. So this Mangal Artik thing starts. Everyone's singing and dancing. And they're really singing and dancing. It's 4:30 in the morning. People are jumping up and down. Dancing like crazy. This place is going nuts. Now inside the Philadelphia Temple Room, it's wood boards like this. And they were kind of loose. So when people jumped, the boards kind of bounced a bit. So I'm standing there while everyone's jumping up and down, and I'm just trying to like be cool. Oops, I'm minding my own business. And all of a sudden, the floorboards are making me do this. Everyone's jumping. I'm going, whoa, okay. I guess I'm supposed to be jumping up and down. So I start jumping up and down. And like I told you, I used to play basketball. So I'm looking at these guys jumping and go, yeah, watch this. I'm getting up higher than everybody. This is what you're supposed to do, right? Just jump as high as you can. And this is kind of fun. I really like this. So I'm really enjoying this kirtan thing. This chanting's awesome. Just incredible. I love it. When it's over, I'm sad. I'm like, keep going, guys. This is fun. I love it. I've got all this energy. I can chant for all day. Let's keep doing it. But it ends. And I'm like, I love this. You eat glove jummins. You jump up and down at 4:30 in the morning. What's not to love? This is awesome. So I decide to become a devotee. I move into the temple. Now I get my bag, because I don't have a whole lot of things. I move in. The guy tells me, come on in, Joe. Bhakta Joe now. That's my name, Bhakta Joe. I come in, I sit down, he takes my bag, he sits me in a chair, and they start talking to me really nicely. This is a Friday. I move in the temple, and these guys are talking really nice. And all of a sudden I hear this buzzing sound. Not like the one in the temple, a different one. This guy's got a razor. And he's buzzing my head. I just moved in. I haven't even unpacked my bag. And I'm watching all my beautiful hair. Oh, God, look at that. It took me years to grow that. Look at that. And I'm like, wow, this is so weird. I've got a shaved head. But wait, you left a bit in the back. They missed a spot. Oh, you're supposed to have that. Oh, okay. Well, you'll explain that to me later. So I'm pretty fired up about this. I become a devotee. And that's how it all happened for me. That's how a kid from America who had no spiritual conceptions, no spiritual desires at the age of 22 became a Hare Krishna. Because the material world, it does not offer anything for you. It all can be used in Krishna's service. But for you personally, you're not this body. And Prabhupada really made that clear. You are not this body. One time, Srila Prabhupada was arriving in an airport. And all the devotees came to greet him. It was ecstatic. Everyone's jumping up and down. The whole airport's going crazy. They don't know what is going on. This Swami arrives and people are going nuts, singing and chanting. And Prabhupada comes in and he sits down in the lounge. All the devotees are around him. The first thing Prabhupada says is, and he says it loud, you are not this body. Prabhupada wanted to emphasize that so much. You are not this body. Please understand that. That's what Prabhupada's goal was, to get us to understand. We are not this body. So stop acting and trying to make the body happy. The body will be happy on its own. You don't have to put endeavor into it. So it's very important. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he came to America from India at the age of 70 years old. I mean, that's old. I'm almost 70, so I understand. But I couldn't go somewhere where I didn't know anybody with hardly any money and go start a worldwide movement at the age of 70. It's almost beyond conception how someone could do that. But that's what Srila Prabhupada did. But Prabhupada had certain weapons at his disposal. One of his major weapons, and I know everyone here probably really appreciates this weapon of Srila Prabhupada.
Just a moment. Can you all come here inside? Please go there.
Sure.
There's a lot of space.
I'm going to have to take this off. Okay. So back, I'm working up a sweat here. Back to Srila Prabhupada's weapons. So one of his major weapons, and I know you can all appreciate this, one of his major weapons is prasadam. Prasadam. Because let's say you don't like the chanting. Let's just assume this. Kirtan's too loud for you. But we're going to serve prasadam. Okay, I'll be there. Prasadam is not a bad thing. So Prabhupada would prepare the prasadam for his guest. He would serve the prasadam to the guest. And then Prabhupada would clean all the plates and pots for the guest. So when the devotees were first coming to the temple, they would sit in nice rows. Prabhupada would serve them out. And he would say, here, have rice, have sabji, have chapati. And then he'd come back again. He said, have rice. And they go, no, Swamiji, I've had enough. He said, have more. He put it on their plate. And then he would come with the sabji. Oh, Swamiji, I'm full. Have some more. And he'd give them more. Chapatis? Oh, no, thank you. Have 2 more. And he'd come around again. Same thing. And they're going like, no, that's enough. I can't eat anymore. And Prabhupada would miss their hand. And boom, have more. Have more. Have more. So he would fill them up with prasadam. Then all of a sudden, he stopped doing this. After a few weeks, he stopped doing it. And one of the devotees said, Swamiji, you used to really overdo the prasadam with us. Now you're not pushing it so much. Why? Did we do something wrong or something? Are we eating too much? Why? And Prabhupada said, you are now asking good questions. So Prabhupada's little plan worked. The prasadam purified them without them even knowing it. And they started to think a little clearer. And they were asking better questions. Simply by prasadam. Simply by prasadam. Let me use my cheat sheet for this one. Prabhupada once said, if you knowingly take prasadam, which means if you understand that prasadam is sanctified food that's been offered to God, if you knowingly do that, you are guaranteed a human birth. Guaranteed. So, all of you, when you take prasadam, go, this has been offered to Krishna, definitely got a human birth. Okay? That's a bonus. Even if you walk out of here and never do anything spiritual again in your whole life, you're at least going to get a human birth. That's not the goal, but at least it's not a bad consolation prize. Okay? One time, Srila Prabhupada was giving class, and this was in New York City in 1966, in the very early stages of this Hare Krishna movement. And he called for questions. And there was one girl sitting next to him, kind of like Prabhu is right here. And she wanted to ask a question. But Prabhupada knew she was kind of out of it, like, a hippie, maybe one too many drugs, and she never asked good questions. So Prabhupada kind of ignored her. And she's like, Swami. She's going like that. And right in front of Prabhupada, so her hand's right there, and Prabhupada would go, yes, just completely ignoring her. Then finally he says, yes. And she asked a question. She said, Swamiji, is there only one way to God? Aren't there many ways to God? And Prabhupada gave an analogy. He says, when you take prasadam, you can't put it in your ear. You can't put it in your rectum. That's what Prabhupada said. You must put it in your mouth. So there is only one way. And she sat down. And everybody laughed. They all laughed like, what a stupid question. There's only one way. So we all know that we offer our prasadam to the deities here. And you get what you call Maha-Prasada, right? Does everybody know that? Have you ever heard this before? This is a new one. Maha-Prasada means food directly offered to the deities. Now, we have prasadam, which we simply say some prayers. We can say it to a picture. We can say it in our mind. But when we actually offer to deities, it's called Maha-Prasada. And also, if you offer to the spiritual master, or the spiritual master takes, like if the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, say Srila Prabhupada was here, and he bites into something and hands it to you. What more could you want? Maha-Prasada, touched by the lips of a pure devotee. So one time, in the very early stages of Krishna Consciousness in America, Prabhupada and one of his disciples, they went to visit the ambassador to India in New York City. And they spent some time with him. He's a very nice gentleman. But Prabhupada was trying to get special visas for his disciples in India, hoping he would help. He didn't really want to help, but he was very nice about it. So as they were leaving, the ambassador's wife handed Srila Prabhupada a piece of aluminum foil, almost looked like a little football, a little piece of aluminum foil, as a gift. And they didn't know what was in it, so Prabhupada gave it to his disciple and said, "You hold this." They left. Now they're getting in the car. They're in the car. They're driving. And Prabhupada says, "See what they have given us." He takes it out of his pocket, unravels the aluminum foil, and inside is a date. One date. But it's like the most amazing date anybody's ever seen. It must have been flown in from somewhere or something. It was big. It just looks so good. So the devotee shows Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada takes the date. He has a bite of it. He goes, "This is best date. Best date." And then he hands it to the devotee. And the devotee's going, "I don't think I want that. He just bit it." He might have his slobber on it or something. I don't really want that. You don't do that. You don't pass something like that around. You don't bite it and hand it to somebody. But he thought, well, you know what? Swamiji gave it to me, so maybe I should take it.
Can you make a little space there?
So the devotee takes the date. And he has a bite. He takes a bite. And then he turns and he hands it back to Srila Prabhupada. That's actually funny when it's not congestion. He hands the Maha-Prasada back to Srila Prabhupada. Because, in the old days, you would just pass it back and forth, Rather than thinking, I just got Maha-Prasada from my spiritual master. This is like the most amazing thing in the world. He takes that date, hands it back to Srila Prabhupada. So anyway, that's the date story. I got one more Prasadam story. So they're on an airplane, Srila Prabhupada and a couple of his disciples. They were traveling like Prabhupada did. He traveled around the world 11 times. So they were on this airplane. And the devotees tend not to eat airplane food. They don't do that. They usually bring something to eat with them. So on this particular journey, all the devotees had with them was puffed rice. They had been given a bag of puffed rice prior to boarding the plane. So Prabhupada says, "Let us take prasadam." And his servant said, "Srila Prabhupada, all we have is this puffed rice." And Prabhupada says, "That is okay." So they put the puffed rice in front of Srila Prabhupada. He took some of the puffed rice. He ate like a half of it. And then he hands the bag to the two devotees that are with him. So they split it up between the two of them. Prabhupada's Maha-Prasadam. What more could you want? And they start eating the puffed rice. Now, at that exact moment, a flight attendant, a female flight attendant, walks down the aisle, sees the two devotees eating the puffed rice, reaches over, puts her hand in, grabs a handful and goes, "This stuff is good." And the devotee's thinking, "What are you doing? You just reached and grabbed my food. What are you doing?" And she goes, "This is really good. What is this called?" And he says, "It's called puffed rice." She reaches and grabs another handful. Pops it all in her mouth. She's eating it. She says, "I really like this stuff. It's fantastic." He said, "Hey, can I get you anything? Do you want anything?" And Prabhupada asked for some hot milk. She says, "Oh, no problem. Do you want some fruit?" Prabhupada said, yes, that would be nice. So she comes back, gives Prabhupada some fruit, gives the other devotees some fruit and hot milk. Everyone is happy. Now the devotee who was part of this, whose puff rice was taken, he was telling this story years later, like 30 years later, in Brazil, which is where the flight was heading to. He's telling this story, and after he told this story, he was in class. A devotee came up to him and said, "Can I tell you a story?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, tell me the story." So he said, "Well, we were doing traveling book distribution, and we were in remote area of Brazil. So remote, we'd have to park our Jeep and walk to get to any places where people lived. So we knocked on this one door in the middle of nowhere. And the woman opens the door. She goes, "Oh, Hare Krishna." He's like, "Nobody's ever been here. How do you know what I am?" She says, "Come on in." He goes in, and on the wall are pictures like this, all around her remote little hut. in the middle of a jungle in Brazil. And there's pictures of Lord Chaitanya, Jagannath, Prabhupada, Krishna, all around the place. And he's like going, whoa, where did you come from? What's up with all this? And she says, let me tell you a story. I used to be a flight attendant. True story. True story. And I had some puffed rice that was from Srila Prabhupada, although I didn't know who he was at that time. But when I landed in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in the airport, I felt different. Something changed within me. And I asked if I could get some of the books of those Hare Krishnas. So I read the Bhagavad Gita. And now I'm a practicing Hare Krishna.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is the effect. That is the amazing effect of prasadam. Now, like I said, there are 3 weapons in this war to battle your senses and mind and to battle the material energy and the modes of nature. 3 weapons. Prasadam is a wonderful weapon. And we can all enjoy this weapon, right? Does anybody not like to take prasadam? Raise your hand. Good. All right, so we're working with a good crowd today. The second weapon, Kirtan. Now, Kirtan is amazing. As we witnessed, like some of you didn't make it in, I'm sorry to say, but the Kirtan before we started was pretty ecstatic. Like, I don't know how much more ecstatic could you get, other than maybe you jump higher and put your head through the roof or something. I just don't know. Because I saw everyone just bubbling with the mantra. Bubbling with that Hare Krishna mantra. Almost to the point where you were ready to do anything. If somebody said, okay, now we're all going to quack like ducks, you'd all go like, quack, 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 quack. Because you're just so ecstatic from chanting. It takes you to a whole nother place. A whole nother place that is not in this material world. And that is the beauty of the mantra. And that is why it is so important to chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Like we're going to do right now. One time through for me, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Together. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
Okay, for the middle of a class, that was pretty good. There was a lot of enthusiasm. But like I'm actually working up a sweat doing this class. And you guys are just relaxing. So you haven't put a whole lot of energy into what we're doing tonight. So I would like it a little bit louder if you don't mind. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Woo! Loved it. Now, do you feel that energy? And what it also does when we chant together, congregational chanting, it actually brings us all together. It connects us. Because after all, we are connected. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. So when we chant His name together, we bond together like that. There's a bond that cannot be broken. It's a special bond. That is why it is so much fun to chant Hare Krishna together. Very, very special. Now, one time in a lecture,
You said 3, but you mentioned only 2.
I'm getting to it.
Oh.
We're getting to it. Come on. He's impatient. What's the third? Come on, tell us. I wanted to tell one more story. Come on. So, all right, I'll tell the third. The third is, so we have prasadam, we have kirtan, and the third would be chanting on those beads. Yeah? That is harder than the others, though, isn't it? Be honest. Who finds it hard to chant rounds every day? Be honest. Yeah, come on. You know it's not that easy. If I said you have to take prasadam every day, you go, well, okay, I'll do it. Not a problem. You want to jump around in Kirtan? All right, not a problem. You're going to chant 16 rounds? Ooh. Wait a minute. 16 rounds? How long does that take? It's like 2.5 hours or something? Come on. Now, when Prabhupada first started this movement in America, he was attracting people through the first two, Prasadam and Kirtan. Prasadam and Kirtan. Japa was not a big part of this yet. They didn't really emphasize it. There was no have to chant this many rounds or you should chant this many rounds. It was simply Prasadam and Kirtan. Then Prabhupada mentioned about initiation. Now initiation is a word that nobody knew. What do you mean initiation? What is this initiation? But Prabhupada introduced this and he said, to take initiation you will become my disciple. You will follow me and I will take you back to Godhead. Okay, that sounds like a pretty cool thing. Going back to God is a nice idea. We'll take this initiation. And then Prabhupada explained, there are rules you must follow. Now in the 60s, the word rules was a dirty word. We don't want no rules. We grow our hair, we have sex with anybody we want, we eat whatever we want, we do whatever we want. If it feels good, do it. That was the motto of the 60s. So Prabhupada introduced this word, rules. Rules and regulations. Ooh. Now Prabhupada said, the first rule is, no eating meat. Now all the guys and girls are like, okay, I could be a vegetarian, not a big deal. I can do this. It's not, all right, I'll be initiated, it's not a problem. Prabhupada said, and the second rule, no gambling. Gambling? I don't have any money to gamble. We can follow these rules. No eating meat, no gambling. Okay. No problem. Then Prabhupada said, no intoxication. What? What do you mean no intoxication? It's like our life. That's all we do is get intoxicated. We smoke cigarettes, we drink, we pop pills, we smoke this, we do that. No intoxication? That's going to be a little bit hard. I don't know. But I really like this Swami. He just talks so amazing. I love it. I love what he's saying. I'm not this body. I don't want to stay in this material world. No intoxication. Wow, that's a big surrender. What about coffee? Prabhupada says no coffee. Ooh. Tea? No tea. No tea? What's wrong with tea? It's caffeine. Stimulant. Oh. Cigarettes? No cigarettes. No intoxication. Wow. Now some of his followers couldn't accept that. Okay, love the Swami, but that's a little too serious, giving up intoxication. But the ones that stayed were like, okay, we can do this. We love the Prasadam, we love the Kirtan, we love the Swamiji. We can follow these three regulative principles. Prabhupada said there's a fourth. Prabhupada said no illicit sex. No illicit. What does he mean by illicit sex? He's saying no sex? Is that what he's saying? He's saying we can't have sex ever again? Prabhupada says no illicit sex. No sex outside marriage. Who gets married? We're hippies. We just live together. Come on, there's no marriage. No sex outside marriage. Thinking about this one now. This is not going to be easy. 4 principles we must follow to be the Swami's disciple and chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. Well, the back to Godhead thing sounds pretty good. I don't know about the rest. Whoa, what a surrender. I don't know. Well, I love the Swami. I would miss him so much if I didn't come in here. All right, we'll do it. Prabhupada then said, you must chant on your beads 64 rounds. 64 rounds. You know how long that takes? 64 rounds. Everybody's like, whoa! That's like 8 hours of chanting Hare Krishna on bees. That cannot be done. There is no way we do that. And Prabhupada empathized with that. He said, okay, 32 rounds. Wait a minute, that's still like 4 hours. At least 4 hours, right? Maybe 5 or 6 hours, because we're still learning how to do this. And we can't do it. We just can't do it. Then Prabhupada says, all right, 16 rounds minimum. All right, 16 rounds. 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes a round? Yeah, 8 minutes a round. 2.5 hours? Yeah, well, you know. Got to feed the cat. I have to do this, I have that. You know, I got so many important things to do. You know, I read the newspaper in the morning, and you know, I guess I can give that up. And all right, be a devotee. So they became devotees. They got initiated, and that was the first wave. Prabhupada introduced this. They accepted it, and away we go. Now, Prabhupada stressed so often that, and Bhagavad Gita stresses too, that we must abandon all varieties of religion. That's a scary one, isn't it? And basically what that means is abandon everything that's keeping you in this material world so that you can go back to Krishna. It's tough. It's not easy. It means you must surrender. Now, in the material world, surrender. You wave a white flag. You give up. I give up. Don't hurt me. Don't kill me. Don't shoot me. I surrender. And that has like a bad thing about it. The guy comes in the bank with a gun, goes, all right, everybody put their hands up. I surrender. Don't shoot me. So it has like a bad connotation. Nobody wants to surrender. What, are you giving up, you chicken? You don't want to stand up and fight like the rest of us? We're all trying to fight the material energy. What's wrong with you? Why are you giving up? But that's what we have to do. We have to surrender. We have to surrender all these material desires. We have to surrender all of them. And the only way we can do it is by getting this taste that Krishna Consciousness gives us. And the taste comes from prasadam, kirtan, and chanting Hare Krishna. Wow. What a hard thing to do. Now, if I say Hare Krishna and you respond, Hare Krishna. Did anybody feel any pain when he did that? Did it go, ow, that really hurts. Oh, man, I can't do that again. He's going to make me do it again. Oh, Hare Krishna. Oh, God. That really hurt. Or Prabhu says, time for prasadam, and you're like, no, we got to drag you in. Come on, sit down. No, it doesn't happen like that. It never happens like that. We love these things. Japa, chanting on your beads. Well, that's a challenge. Does anybody here chant 1 round? 1 round. I mean, come on, honest. You chant 1 round. That's great. You're 1 round. That's wonderful. That's how you start. You do 1 round every day. That is the beginning. When you start to get that taste for it, like I finished that round, I didn't even realize I did. Maybe I'll chant another one. Wow, now you're up to 2. Now the goal, as Prabhupada said, is 16 rounds minimum. Minimum. Because when you start to get this taste for it, you're going to want to do it more and more. That's just the way it works. That's how we are wired to act. If it's fun, if it's enjoyable, I'll do it. Have some prasadam. I'll do it. Jump up and down in kirtan. I'll do it. Chant japa for 16 rounds. Well, I mean, you know, I love these programs in this house here. It's really nice, but 16 rounds? What a surrender. There's that word again. Surrender. But that's what Krishna is telling us. You must surrender. What are you going to lose out on? Well, you know, I have a phone, so pretty busy with the phone. I get messages. Oh, hold on. Somebody's wanting to talk to me on Messenger. I'll be right back. That's who we are these days. These electronic gadgets are stealing us away from Krishna. Isn't that true? Like if everybody had their phone turned on and they heard the little beeping sound that you got a message, isn't your mind going like, look, go ahead, look. Oh, God, it could be important. I got to look. Oh. All right. It didn't say anything, but hey. how controlled we are. And that is how the material nature is working upon us. It's controlling our mind, telling us we need these things. You cannot survive without these things. But Krishna is saying, no. Prabhupada is saying, no, this is what you need. You need prasadam. You need prasadam. You have to eat. So you eat food that's been offered to Krishna. Is that a challenge? Is that hard to do? No, it's not. You simply offer. And what do you offer Krishna? You offer him what he wants. Fruit, flower, leaf, water. That's what he says. So that's what we give him. If he said, offer me fish, chicken, we would do it. Because that's what Krishna wants. We do things because that's what Krishna wants. Krishna's giving us his holy name. He's giving us freely. Chant. Nobody is saying, okay, that mantra will now cost you 100 rupees. Pay up. You chanted 3 times already since I've been here. That's 300 rupees each. Before you leave, I would like everyone to please give that to me. That's what the mantra is going to cost you. But we don't do that. This mantra is for free. And it's so free we want everybody to have it. Not just the people in this room, but all of IIT. Everyone. And not just all of IIT, all of Kanpur. And not just all of Kanpur, all of India. Not just all the world. We want everyone to chant Hare Krishna. And if we all did this, what a wonderful place this would be. It would be amazing, wouldn't it? We were all devotees of Krishna, like we're supposed to be. It would be amazing. And the process is so simple. Don't complicate it. Don't think it's more complex than it is. It's very, very simple. Very simple. So simple that a simple person like me from Philadelphia in America, a total sense gratifier, can practice this for 45 years. That's how simple it is. I'm not that complex. I'm sorry, I didn't get a master's, I didn't get a PhD, I don't like chemistry, sorry. I don't like any of the things that you guys do. I really am not interested. I wanted to play basketball and have girlfriends, that's all I cared about. So I'm very simple. And because I kept it very simple, Krishna has allowed me to stay in the association of his devotees. And I'm hoping that all of you accept just how simple this process is. Just how enjoyable it is. Now it's a special group that is gathered here tonight. Very special. Because there are so many other things you could be doing that have nothing to do with this Hare Krishna. Nothing to do with it. But yet you chose on a Saturday night to come listen to some Krishna Katha, some Hare Krishna chanting, to take some prasadam. So I'm saying you guys are special. You're blessed. You've started your path. Some are further along than others, but you've all started the path. And now it's just a matter of staying on the path. Don't let the material energy pull you away. Just remember how simple the process is. One time, in Amsterdam, the devotees were kind of new, and they were preparing a fire sacrifice for initiation, and they didn't have a clue how to do it. They had no clue. So when the initiation was about to start, Prabhupada looked, he says, there is no fruit. You must have fruit for this initiation. So one of the devotees went in the kitchen, cut up some apples, cut up some bananas, and brought them out. And Prabhupada says, no, whole. You don't cut up. You bring them whole. And he was getting agitated. And one of the girls who was there, she was a hippie. And she had often heard devotees say to other devotees, when you're in anxiety, just chant Hare Krishna. When you're stressed, chant Hare Krishna. So she turned to Prabhupada and said, just chant Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada, being such a humble person, he picked up his bead bag and started chanting. So this process is being taken by everybody. Pure devotees, people just joining, people in the middle, people at the end. We're all doing the same thing. We're chanting Hare Krishna, we're taking prasadam, we're enjoying each other's company, and we're hopefully all going back to Godhead. And as Prabhupada says, in this lifetime, make it your goal to to go back to Godhead in this lifetime. You don't want to end up in somebody's womb again. You don't want to be born again. You don't want a material body again. Does anybody here really like being in the material body that they're in? It's like, I got a great body. Healthy, strong. I used to think that too. Now I'm an old man. I can't jump like I used to. I could outjump every single one of you guys when I was 20. Now I'm 67. I can't hardly even get off the ground. I can't get any air under me when I jump. That's depressing. One time Srila Prabhupada was in Los Angeles, and his room was upstairs, pretty straight up like that. And the devotees used to go ahead of Prabhupada and run up the stairs like you do. You skip 2-3 steps, boom, 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 up the stairs. And Prabhupada turned to the devotees at the bottom behind him. He says, don't think I don't want to do that too. Because everybody wants to do that. You want to have this youthful, wonderful body that's a little more fun than when it gets older. But trust me, it will get older. I remember hearing when I joined, old age. Old age, who worries about that? Come on, man, I'm 20, I'm feeling good, I'm strong, I'm healthy. I don't get diseases, I'm healthy. Now I'm 67. Sorry, I can't eat that, my stomach. All right, I can't do this, I can't do that. I can't do a whole lot of stuff I want to do. I'm in this old age period. I've got the disease thing. There's something wrong with my stomach. I'm sorry, I can't eat that. I really liked your prasada, but I just couldn't eat it. I'm sorry. It really is, it's depressing. These material bodies are not fun. So don't be an illusion because you're young. You're thinking, you know what, it's okay. It's not so bad. What's all this talk about old age and disease, man? I'm 25, I'm 30, I'm feeling good, you know. All right, it's going to come. It does come. Trust me. So take this process. Take it seriously. Go back to Godhead this lifetime. This lifetime. As seriously as you take your positions in this IIT and how you're going to get this degree and do this and do that, as seriously as you take that, it's as serious as you take going back to Godhead. Don't just, oh, well, you know what, I do this, maybe I'll go here, do that. No, take it serious. There's a goal. Back to Godhead. No more material bodies. No more disease. No more old age. No more birth. No more death. It's the goal of human life is to go back to Godhead. And it's all 100% doable if you desire it and work hard enough for it. Trust me, it's there for you. Every single one of you can go back to Godhead. Okay, thank you so much for allowing me to be here tonight. I really appreciate the energy that everyone brings. I appreciate the attention. So it's not everywhere you go on a Saturday night and you talk and everyone's still looking at you by the end of the talk. So you guys, I'm impressed. Very nice. So I'll stop now, and maybe if anybody has any questions or comments or criticisms, complaints.
Like from the morning class, one question.
Okay.
You were telling about 2 prayers when we were feeling not qualified. You
Yes.
told one of them. What was the other one?
Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Yena Bhutale. Yes. First is Om Jnana Tiraram Dasya. Yeah. And the second one is Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam. Prabhupada said both, not just the one. He said both. For all those that were not here this morning, there's a story I told where Prabhupada instructed one of his disciples, if you are about to take on some task that you don't feel qualified, you don't feel worthy of doing it, you don't feel you can do it, Prabhupada said there are 2 prayers that we have that you chant to pray to Krishna to please help you, to guide you how to do this. And the first prayer is Om Jnana Tiraram Dasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmalitangena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The second one is Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svabadantikam. So those 2 prayers, when you pray, whenever you're about to take on something, you know, even into the material realm, like I'm about to have an exam, pray to Krishna, please help me remember what I need to know, and please, you know, preserve what I have and carry what I lack. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Preserve what I have, carry what I lack. So you're asking Krishna to help you out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Anybody else? Prabhu?
Yeah. How did you meet Srila Prabhupada?
Are we coming back tomorrow night? Because that's tomorrow night. Yes?
Yeah.
We'll be here tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Same? Okay, come tomorrow night. That's part 2. If I tell you now, then I'll just sit here and we'll just look at each other for an hour. Anything else? No? Somebody want to tell me a story?
Please ask.
All right, I'll tell a story. This is inspired by Hari Om. Does everybody know Hari Om here? Yeah. Hari Om told me a story that he went to Rishikesh. He went to Rishikesh to enjoy, not to be spiritualized, to have fun. Riding down the Ganges in a raft, wasn't it? That what you thought you were going to do? And he heard people yelling Hari Bol. And he thought they were saying Hari Om. And he's thinking, why is everybody yelling my name all the time? Hari Om! Hari Om! So that inspired me to tell this story. That when I first joined the movement, I came to the temple on a Friday. And on a Saturday, they said to me, we are going to go distribute books. You all have seen probably the devotees out distributing books. So they said to me, would you like to come and distribute books? I'll tell this story. Maybe it's not quite as relevant if you don't know about Sankirtan distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. So I got the opportunity to distribute books. My first day as a devotee. So I remember I got in the van, and I'm with 8 other guys in this van that I don't know. I don't know who they are. I'm newly shaved up, like I told you. I have my little baseball cap on. They give me a bag of books. They give me a little bucket of candy, like the other guy had. And they drop me off by myself. I just moved in yesterday. They dropped me off by myself. They said, go ahead, get out. Go, do it here. I'm like, really? And I look around. They dropped me off in my neighborhood. I just shaved up yesterday. I was in a Hare Krishna 2 days ago, and now I'm on the street as a Hare Krishna in my old neighborhood. And I'm seeing everybody I know. And they're like going, Joe, what are you doing? And because I just moved in, I'm pretty excited. I'm going, I'm a Hare Krishna. They go, man, did they kidnap you? What happened? I'm just having like the time of my life because I'm loving being a devotee. And because I know everybody, I'm stopping people. They're all stopping because they know who I am. They, what are you doing, man? Oh, here, have a candy. We'll talk. Okay. Well, they make the candy. I give them a book. What's in the book? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. But I tell you, it's a Hare Krishna book, so it's going to be really cool. Easy journey to other planets? Whoa, now that sounds pretty far out. So I distributed a lot of books that day. Now when we get back to the temple, they read out the scores of how everybody did. And I'm thinking, I know I did pretty good. I distributed a lot of books. I had a lot of fun because I kind of like talking. And I distributed a lot. So they were going up like, 40 books, 60 books, 80. They're going up the ladder. And it gets to like number 3, and I still haven't heard my name. I think maybe they skipped me, because I'm a new guy. They didn't read my name out. But second place was Bhakta Joe. Oh, all right. They didn't yell Hari Bol. They yelled Jai. Jai. And I'm thinking, no, Joe. They got my name wrong again. It's Joe. And every time I said that, they go, Joy. So that's inspired by Hari Om. Hari Bol. Now we're all yelling your name. Hari Bol. Okay.
So in this 45 years of journey, whenever you had little lack of enthusiasm, how did you handle that?
I'm going to be a party pooper and say I've always had enthusiasm. I really did. That was the one thing I always felt was going to carry me through, was my enthusiasm. I had it as a young man. Before I was a devotee, I was always very enthusiastic. And now that I am a devotee and I have read what Rupa Goswami has said in our Shastras, that enthusiasm is number one. And it's the most important thing. So I pray that even as I get older and older, that I will always have enthusiasm. Because I'm not as smart as everybody here. I'm not a university graduate. I dropped out. So I don't have a whole lot of other knowledge other than knowledge that I want to be a Hare Krishna. So I pursue it with a lot of energy. Because I know that if I don't, then I will just fall away. So I have to be more aggressive than my mind is. I have to be more aggressive than the material energy is. And that is the only way I'm going to go back to Godhead. So I really attack my Krishna consciousness. From 4:30 in the morning, I give it. And I feel that that is the best way to do it. You have to be understanding that the material energy is very strong. The alarm goes off at 4 o'clock. It is so easy to say, not today. I won't get up today. Not today. Let me sleep in. I don't give it that opportunity. I just don't even think about that. I just get up. I may walk into the wall, but I'm getting up. And I'm going to come to Mangal Arti. And I do that like I told you. I made a vow. I'm going to do this every day. Until I physically cannot do it, then even then I'll say, bring me in my wheelchair. I'm coming. So I think that enthusiasm is the most important thing, and therefore, for me, it's definitely the most important thing.
Any other question? Yeah, there.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So, when we come to association, it is because of our previous conditionings, it is very easy for us to commit offenses. How we can actually saved from this tendency of committing offenses?
Trinada pi sunichena. Do you know what that means? The verse by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The one must be more humble. Yeah, that is the key. Humility. Humility is what will carry you through. Don't ever think you're somebody important. Don't ever think you're somebody special. You know, we are none of those things. Krishna is special. Prabhupada is special. We are simply servants. And we don't even think we are servants of Krishna. Dasa dasa anudas. We are servants of the servant of the servant. The lower you go on that rung, the better chance you have of making it. So that humility is what carries you through. If you're not humble, then you do commit offenses. Why do you look at me like that? You know, doesn't he know who I am? That sort of attitude of like you thinking you're somebody special. As soon as you lose that attitude, you won't be committed offenses. You'll see the glass half full rather than half empty. You'll see the good in everybody rather than, oh, he does this. He doesn't do this. He does that. Oh, she does this. She does that. You won't be like that. You'll just say, oh, Prabhu, it's so nice to see you today. You look great. You're feeling great. Is everything good? Let's chant together. Let's dance together. Let's take prasadam together. So your attitude is what will carry you through. And it must be an attitude of humility. It's the key, humility. Like, I do this, and I know people laugh, I tell the stories, I get it, and people go, oh, Jai, Jivanath, you're wonderful. And I think, no. I'm not wonderful. That's why I can do this, because I don't think I'm wonderful. I think Prabhupada's wonderful. And if you see me and you think of Prabhupada, then I've done something good for Prabhupada. I'm representing my spiritual master. It's not about me, and it's not about you, and it's not about any of us. It's about the parampara, our spiritual masters. It's about Krishna. That's what it's about. And if we keep that focused, you will not commit offenses.
One more thing, sometimes we cannot feel gratitude for what Prabhupada has done and what other devotees has done for bringing us till here. So how can we feel gratitude towards the other devotees?
Sure. For other devotees?
Yeah, for other devotees and for whatever the devotees, for care and affection that what they are showing towards us.
Well, when you look at the populace of the whole world, how many people are Krishna conscious? Very, very small minority. Like here on campus, how many people do we have? Thousands? 5,000? I don't know.
Yeah, around 8 to 9,000.
8 to 9,000 people. They're not here tonight.
No, students, only students.
Students, just the students. So say 8,000 students. And here we have, what, 100 maybe? Something like that. So a very, very small percentage are here to hear about Krishna, are here to chant Hare Krishna, are here to take prasadam. So we are in such a minority. Why should we ever be puffed up? We should always appreciate, look who's here. Everyone here is special. It's special. You've taken time out of your material life to come and be spiritual. Even if it's just for an hour or 2 hours. That's special. It's very special. Half more, what is it? What do you percentage? Who's the mathematician here? What's the percentage? 108,000. It's like 0.1 something or something. Very, very small percentage of people are interested in Krishna. Very, very small. So we should be relishing every single person here who are following the same path as you. There's something about everybody feeling the same way about something. It makes you closer. Like, it's just amazing. You're all here. I'm so impressed. And look at me. I'm from America. What the heck am I doing talking about Krishna in India? I mean, that's such a miracle. How can you not appreciate Prabhupada for that? I know nothing. I know nothing, only what Prabhupada has told me. I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know how to bathe. I didn't know how to do anything. Prabhupada taught us everything. And it's still there for everyone. You read Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada is in every single purport. It's like he's talking to you. It's amazing. You want association with a pure devotee? Read Prabhupada's books. It's there for you. And now in this electronic age, there's videos. There's every single lecture Prabhupada ever gave. There's devotees talking about their association with Prabhupada. There's so many different avenues one can explore to stay in touch with that spiritual. So just think like that. Just think how lucky you are. And if you walk away, how unlucky you will be. But like Krishna says, there's no loss. There's no loss. Whatever you've done so far, it's in your bank account. It's in your spiritual bank account. So no matter what happens to you, whatever you've done to this point spiritual, it's going to stay with you. And it's only going to get better. But we want to make it better this life. We're not going to plan on, I'll get a decent birth next time. No, forget that. You go back to Godhead this time. This life. Don't take a chance. You just don't know. One of my favorite stories is, there's a devotee named Ambarish, who's my godbrother. He's the great-grandson of Henry Ford. We all know who Henry Ford is, correct? I mean, the Ford Motors. Very, very big. Very, very rich. Very, very important personality. Now, when Ambarish, who's the great-grandson of Henry Ford, first met Srila Prabhupada, he was introduced, and Prabhupada said, "Oh, so you are the great-grandson of Henry Ford?" And Ambarish said, "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." And Prabhupada said, "So where is he now?" Who knows? Who knows? What did all that money, what did all that fame, what did everything that he had, his popularity, where is that now? Gone. Where is he? Who knows? Maybe he's a bug somewhere. Who knows? We don't want to take this risk of just keeping material and gathering wealth and fame and people are glorifying me. Where's Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt going to be? Who knows? Who cares? But devotees, we are progressing. We're getting closer and closer. But my thing is, don't take a chance on having another birth. No matter how nice it may be. You may go to the heavenly planets, but you're still going to come back down. You may enjoy for a really long time, but you're still going to come back down. So just forget about that. Forget about trying to enjoy for yourself and just try to enjoy Krishna. Do what pleases Krishna. And that's why Bhagavad Gita is such an important book. Because Krishna says, this is what I want. This is what I want you to do. This is how I need you to act. If you want to come back to me, this is what you do. So that's why studying Bhagavad Gita is so very important. It's the most important book in the entire world. Bar none. Bar none. So I'm glad that you are taking Bhagavad Gita a little serious. You're doing the course. You finished the whole week, which is amazing, those ones who did it. Very impressive. You all have a Bhagavad Gita as it is, I hope. Everyone has?
Yeah.
Good. Because that is the most important book. More important than your chemistry, your math, your anything science. More important is Bhagavad Gita. But that doesn't mean you throw away your other books. Anybody else? How about from this side of the room who we made space for? You're writing something down? You ask a question. I'll tell you one quick story before you ask questions. You think about it. Prabhupada once gave a lecture in Houston, and it was at a university with about 100 university students. And Prabhupada says, any questions? And nobody put their hands up. And Prabhupada turned to his disciple Tamal Krishna. He says, no questions means no intelligence. Just saying. It's, I'm not saying you're not intelligent. Question.
How can we move ahead in the path of pure devotee? Means
How can we become pure devotee?
How can we feel that love for Krishna?
I'll tell you a story, and this is where I view love of Krishna. I actually feel that I don't love Krishna. I don't. I'll be honest, I don't. But I'm developing love for Prabhupada, for my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. And a devotee once said to Prabhupada, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you think of me at the time of death, surely you will come to me. So the devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I'm having trouble thinking of Krishna, but I can think of you. Is that all right? And Prabhupada said, yes, it is all right. So for me to relate to Srila Prabhupada, I can do that. Not just because I met Srila Prabhupada, which is tomorrow night, not because of that, but because of Prabhupada is in his books. And Prabhupada said these will be the law books for the next 10,000 years. And that is your association with a pure devotee. So stay connected to the pure devotee through his books. And that's there for every single person here. Not just, you're a disciple of Prabhupada. No, we're all disciples of Prabhupada like that. We're all following what Prabhupada is trying to teach us. So yes, you can be a pure devotee. And you can follow the pure devotee. It's available for everyone. Okay? Anybody else from this side of the room? Mataji, you were here this morning. Please ask a question. Yeah.
I just want to reduce my sleeping hours. I have a bad habit of sleeping too long. And how I can improve my chanting.
Okay, so how do we cut down sleeping and improve our chanting? Okay, I got a good story for this one. Srila Prabhupada in 1967, I believe it was, 67, 68, he went to Montreal, Canada to work on his visa. And he was staying in this apartment that they rented him that was so small. It was like just a room with a little kitchen and that was it. A tiny little area. And he had one of his disciples with him in the room who stayed with him. And because this room was so small, this disciple was actually sleeping under the sink, under the kitchen sink. And Prabhupada had a little space where he had a mat down and he was sitting there. There was a desk. So they both go to take rest around 11 o'clock. And the devotee under the sink, this is his first time with Srila Prabhupada alone, with a pure devotee of God. And he's alone with him for the first time. So needless to say, he couldn't sleep. He's lying there like, wow, I'm in the room with Prabhupada, wow. And Prabhupada woke up at like 1 o'clock. Flicks on his lights. The devotee goes, trying to pretend like he's asleep. So Prabhupada looks over and sees that he's sort of looking like he's asleep. And he starts translating and hoping not to wake the devotee up. So about 2:30 the devotee goes, and Prabhupada says, you are awake? And the devotee said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, I woke up. And he says, very nice, okay. So they converse a little bit and then they keep going, doing what they're doing. The next night, same thing happens. The devotee's still so excited he can't sleep at all. He's lying under the sink and he's trying to keep his eyes closed. But he's exhausted, but they're kind of closing, they're opening, they're closing. Prabhupada again wakes up at 1 o'clock, looks over and the devotee's going, like this, trying to keep his eyes closed, but he can't do it. So Prabhupada says, oh, you are awake? And he says, oh, yes, Srila Prabhupada, I'm awake. He says, actually, I haven't slept for 2 days, 2 nights. And Prabhupada says, oh, this is very good. He says, actually, I want all my devotees not to sleep. But I don't tell anybody that or nobody would come. So the goal is actually to minimize our sleep. Prabhupada used to say, it's such a waste of time. He used to say, I feel so guilty sleeping. It's such a waste of time. But obviously you need sleep. How many hours of sleep you need? Prabhupada actually said, you decide that. Between 6 to 8 hours is like good sleep. More than that, you probably don't really need 10 hours of sleep, 12 hours of sleep. In the material world, the karmis, they need a lot of sleep. Because when you're doing all kinds of silly activities, you need to sleep. But if you're being sharp with your intelligence and wanting to be with Krishna more, you're not going to want to sleep that much. And then you will actually develop this desire to not sleep, and Krishna will help you out. Like I get up between 3 and 3:40 every day for almost 45 years. I set an alarm for 4 o'clock every day, and it's probably going off maybe twice in the last year. I always wake up at the same time. Even I was working, and I was like, please let me sleep in. I need some sleep. 3:40, I'm up. I was so conditioned, just because I really wanted to be up, but I didn't want to be up. But, I got up so early, but that was Krishna helping me. So if you are sincere with you don't want to sleep so much, Krishna will help you with that. But you also have to be honest with yourself. It's a personal thing. I can't say 6 hours, no more. Well, I need 7. Okay, 7's okay. I need 8. 8's okay. I need 9. What was the second part? You're chanting, how to make it better. Do you want it to be better? Do you pray for it to be better? That's what you got to do. It's up to Krishna to help you out now. Lay it on him. Come on, Krishna. I really want to chant your holy names. I want to chant them so nice. You got to help me out here. Krishna's in control. Is that correct? Is that a fair statement? Krishna's in control. You're not in control. Krishna's in control. And one of the things I always do is I lay all my problems onto Krishna. I say, look, you got a problem here. You better fix this. If you're not going to fix it, well, don't blame me. Nothing to do with me. You're in control, not me. And that's how you should look at it too. Like, Krishna, come on. I want to chant better rounds. And then one day all of a sudden you'll start chanting better rounds. Like, how did this happen? Krishna will allow it. He'll answer that prayer if it's sincere. Sincerity is so important. It's the real key to it is sincerity. Be sincere. Chant from your heart. It's important to let that connection, because Krishna is a person, right? We are people. We are person. So there's a personal thing going on. When you chant His holy name, it's a special connection. And maybe I'll talk about this tomorrow night, about the mantra, how important the mantra is, how much nectar and how much enjoyment there is when you actually seriously just meditate on the vibration of Hare Krishna. There's so much wonderful spiritual energy inside that mantra, because you're connecting with the Supreme. It's not just some mundane sound vibration. So, it's just so much nectar. And if you really want to taste that nectar, then Krishna will provide that for you. Okay. I think that's...
Have Kirtan?
Kirtan sounds good. Can we slowly rise to our feet?
No, I think...
Bhajan?
Bhajan.
Bhajan. I don't like bhajan. But we'll do it for you. Okay, bhajan. Somebody want to bang the drum?
Yeah. Jonas. Mridanga.
Mridanga, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Actually, we can go on, but you see, this is a private area. This is not a real temple because we are all there. So we have to be a little, all of you, I probably wanted if everybody can be on the feet, that would have been better. Good experience. But I think that it will be tough to do it given the neighbors and others we are here. We have to be careful. So, thank you very much for your enlivening class. And the way you intertwine with anecdotes from Prabhupada, the Leela, philosophy is amazing.
Thank you.
Prabhuji is here tomorrow. Today the Mangalarti, huge participation. Tomorrow also. I request all of you. New guys, Roy, please come. Take help of others. Some of the first year boys, they can be helped how to come to this Mangalarti tomorrow. Sit down. So tomorrow morning Mangalarti 5 o'clock, and you will experience tomorrow also morning Kirtan, starting from Mangalarti, then Guru Puja, and then again nectar from Prabhuji. So this is tomorrow program, and then we have a lecture in the institute, 6 to 7 tomorrow. East meets West, a perspective on Hare Krishna movement. So that will be start sharp at 6 o'clock and sharp at 7 o'clock, and then L60. Program is L60. Everybody will come? Yes. And what I would like is that after that, those who can come, and then we can have nice Kirtan here. Because Kirtan we can't do in the institute. And we are doing in the institute because we are hoping more people can come, and we can accommodate more. Here we can't accommodate whatever we have now. So we are hoping a bigger crowd. That's why we are doing in the institute tomorrow. And then we come back. I request all of you, those who are here, to come back again here to enjoy Kirtan, right? So this is our practice. So Kirtan. And then and Prasadam would be there anyway here. And again next day, that is on Monday morning Mangalarti, and then Prabhuji will leave around 8 o'clock. So 11 o'clock is your flight.
Yeah.
So we will have Mangalarti anyway on the day. So that's it. Now Prasadam will be there, and everybody will take Prasadam before you leave. And please keep a date with His Grace Jivanath Prabhu. And he is only here for this much amount of time. Don't miss that opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.